The next resource that we're going to cover is a URL. A URL is the same thing as a web address, like www.google.com, and that's all that it's used for is to give useful links out to the class participants. So I'm going to simply go to add an activity or resource. Again, go under resources, go to URL, hit add. This has a couple more options on it than what the label resource did. We've got to give it a name. So it could be something as simple as Google website or something like that. The description is also required, although unless you check this box, it won't show up on the screen. So we might say something like, click the link above to go to Google and then do a simple search. But like I said, if I don't check this box, it just simply won't appear. I'll go ahead and check it so you can see what it looks like. The external URL is the actual web page itself, so google.com. Other options here, you see you have a few more options. Appearance. This one, for display, I recommend that you change this to either open or in pop-up. And I'll show you what both of those do. Actually, I'll leave it on automatic so you can see what that does first. These other things here are things you typically won't have to deal with. This one again is just show hide, and if you're doing activity completion. So I'm going to leave the rest as is. I'm going to say save and return to course. And there it is. So there is the URL, or the direct link to that URL, and then here was the description that I put under it. Now remember, I left it on automatic. So with automatic, when I click on the link, it actually takes me to another page within Moodle with the description and so forth, and then gives you the link to the URL itself. That's probably not what you really were intending for it to do. So I'm going to update this. I'm going to go back down here to appearance. I'm going to change my display type, and let's try embed so we can see what that does. We'll save and return to course. I'll go ahead and click on it again. And you can see what it's trying to do. It failed for some reason, but it's trying to actually show you the content of the Google page embedded inside of your Moodle page. So I'm going to go back again. That should have worked. I'm not going to troubleshoot it now, but if we go back again, the two that I would more recommend would be open or in pop-up, as I mentioned earlier. So let's see what open does. Save and return. When I do an open, it's going to take me right to the Google website. Now the bad part about this is that it's actually taken me away completely from the Moodle site. If I drag my window up here so you can see this, in the actual address bar tab, it did not pop another tab up for Google. And so for me to get back to my Moodle site, I would have to know to click the back button. The problem with that is that students may have a tendency to close the browser or close that tab, and then have to go and completely get back into Moodle again afterwards. So that's kind of a pain. So the last option on that menu was to change it to say in pop-up. So I'll save and return to course again. And now if I go ahead and click on it, now it pops another copy of the browser window up altogether and shows you within that window the website that you were intending to go to. Now you may or may not have noticed the size of the window that opened for the pop-up, but you can control that as well. And those settings, if I go back and edit the settings again on our URL, under the appearance, notice the pop-up width and pop-up height. So you could make those larger. It depends somewhat on your screen size and resolution and those types of things. The only other bad thing about using the in pop-up option is that if your browser happens to have pop-up blockers turned on, that may stop it from opening up. So if that turns out to be the case, you may have to go back and use the open option instead. So excuse me, this is something I would recommend that you kind of try both options with your students, see which one seems to work best for them. If they're getting pop-up blocker issues and having trouble dealing with that, then you may just have to go back to the open choice. So, but anyway, that's what URLs are. Thanks.